because, friendly reminder, most kids are dead by this age. My name is Aaron, and today I am joined by our bottle cap factory foreman, Richard.
What's up, guys? I run the bottlecap factory. No breaks, 22-hour shift minimum every day, guys.
Just gotta use your hands, get those calluses going, get those bottle caps off. The gloves really
Yeah.
impede you, I
Yeah, I
must
mean
say.
you don't get enough like friction or like grip on the cap, but you take the gloves off, once you start developing some real nasty calluses, it's like you got a built-in bottle opener.
That sweatshop might be the best condition for a child in this wasteland to be living in, from what we've seen so far.
I mean, yeah, it's either indoctrination into the Brotherhood or Kaiser's Legion or flea soup. That's about it. I mean, at least we let them drink the sodas when they open them.
It's a really nice treat for them. I think that they really are luckier than they realize, truly.
I mean, yeah, they've outlived like every other member of their generation.
I really want to know how Thaddeus found all of these kids. Like, did he just kind of wander around scooping up random orphaned children? Like, what?
I hope that he stumbled across the factory where they were all hiding out, and he decided, "Hey, kids, how about manual labor?"
It's not a bad business model. I mean, as long as there's still soda around, he can just infinite money glitch, you know,
Yeah,
with those bottle caps. At
yeah. I mean,
first, I
it
thought he was
works.
looking for Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps because there's like special limited edition bottles that have a blue star, and you can like turn it in for a prize if you get enough of the star
Oh,
bottle caps. The
that's
prizes are all
cool.
really terrible, but people don't know what the prizes are, so they like kill each other in the wasteland over them.
Of course.
So, anyways, Richard, before we get into it, how are you doing today?
I am doing absolutely fantastic. How about you, sir?
I'm doing pretty great. We had a couple of really good episodes. Thank you all for being patient while we get our episodes 2 and 3 breakdown out. We hadn't originally planned to split them up, but we kind of
It's
forgot that the
it's been
holidays were
winter.
coming.
It's been winter in Buffalo. It came to play for real this year.
It really did. I lost my Wi-Fi a couple of times, in addition to the whole, you know, holiday being busy of it all.
Yeah.
Richard, did you lose power? Did you lose any?
I didn't lose power, but so Monday, I had my first day at my new job, and we're right on Lake Erie. No,
Mhm.
whatever. I can't do geography right now, but we're right on the lake. So of course the snow is so much worse. The wind is so much worse. It was like 80-mile-an-hour winds. So they sent us home at noon, and that was great because then I got to come home and do absolutely nothing instead of
So
work.
what a great first day on the job, getting to
Yeah,
leave at noon due to
yeah,
80-mile-an-hour winds.
yeah. It was kind of wild. Like uh, getting home on Monday and getting home on Wednesday was bad because that was when the wind was like really picking up.
Yeah, I took my dog on a walk the day after we had that crazy storm on the bike path, and there was just a tree down on the bike path, fully uprooted
Oh,
completely. It was really, yeah, it was kind of crazy. If anyone wants to get a hold of us now that we have our Wi-Fi back, how can they do it?
oh, there's so many different ways. Let me tell you about them. First off, we got our email, radioactive at thelorehounds.com. We also have a channel set up for Radioactive Ramblings within the Lorehounds Discord server. You can send us a message, chat about the show, ramble, if you will. You could use the contact form or leave us a voicemail at thelorehounds.com. And consider giving us a follow on Blue Sky at Radioactive 141. We would also pretty please appreciate a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible. I think there's one on YouTube you can listen to us through. Wherever you guys are listening to us, helps other listeners like you find us, and it also lets us know how we're doing.
Yeah, if you are one of our 3 listeners on YouTube, please reach out to us. I'm curious about you. Get a hold of us.
Yeah.
Without further ado, though, we are going to be covering, of course, Fallout Season 2, Episode 2, The Golden Rule, and episode 3, The Profligate. So these were a good bunch of episodes before we go blow by blow into the story arcs, which I've condensed the different story arcs into like spanning across the two episodes just for the ease of continuity here. So we're going to be kind of talking about these episodes as if they're one and just talk about the plot points. And then at the very end, we'll mention a little bit how we felt about the individual episodes. But for the most part, we're just going to treat it as a whole breakdown.
Yeah.
Richard, any like non-spoiler thoughts on the episode before we get into it?
Not. I mean, I thought the episodes were good.
Yeah.
That's really all I can say without spoiling. What
That's
about you, sir?
Yeah, I would say pretty much the same. I really enjoyed these episodes. I did think that 3 was the weakest of the bunch. I didn't love it the first time around when I watched it, but I did a rewatch earlier this morning just in preparation for this review, and it grew on me a lot the second time around. It wasn't that I disliked it, it just felt.
It was the least good of the three.
Yes, exactly. It was the least good of a great bunch of episodes. I think that the whole um you know what? No, let's go into the spoilers here because I can't really say anything without actually getting into the content. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, full spoilers from here on out. And we are going to start out with the storyline that was quite notably absent from episode 1, which is the Brotherhood of Steel arc, which in brief, the Knights of San Fernando uncover Area 51 from the sands and move into their new home before calling a meeting of prominent Brotherhood elders in the West. They want to discuss taking power from the Commonwealth, but that kind of gets sidelined as Paladin Xander Harkness crashes the meeting and disrupts their negotiations. Paladin Harkness, we should talk about him for a minute, played
We
by the
should.
wonderful Kumail Nanjiani. We knew that he was coming this season. Didn't expect him to go so quickly. How did
I
you feel
like him
about this
though.
guy? Yeah.
I like. I mean, like I don't like. He's a dick. He's a Brotherhood member, so like he's obviously not a great person. But I thought he was like a fun character, and like he was a good, like well written character. He just he's with the Brotherhood, so the Brotherhood obviously has their shortcomings, um, to say the least.
Yeah, and you know what? Every single time, whether it's in the games or in this show, that the Brotherhood is doing something really evil, you have the people who look at the Brotherhood with rose-tinted glasses who are like, this is not how the Brotherhood would ever act. This is not what they do. I don't really know what to say in
I
response to that. This is what they've always done. They
I
have
don't mean to come
always done
across so crass, but like yeah, I was 13 once too. All right, the the Brotherhood is not goaded. They have a goaded like aesthetic. Like the vibes are so strong, and that's why I will always take like Brotherhood armor and like power armor stuff like that. But oh my god, I do not agree with these people at all.
Yeah. I think that people tend to think of characters like Paladin Dance or Elder Lyons or Sarah Lyons when they think of the Brotherhood in this modern context.
Right? They think of like key players who didn't suck instead of like the organization as a whole.
Even under Elder Lyons from Fallout 3, who is arguably the most moral of any of the Brotherhood elders because he had an actual basic conscience.
Mhm.
Even under him, his paladins and his knights were massacring innocent ghouls. Um, like, there's just no decent Brotherhood chapters out there. There are some that are better than others. There are some who genuinely want to help and think that they're doing the right thing. But essentially, the Brotherhood has just, in a society that has left behind the type of racism that we know in the like in our modern world, they like reinvented it to be anti-mutant.
Yeah. I feel like racism based on skin color just really isn't as much of a thing, at least in the wasteland. It's more
Yeah.
just like if you have a mutation.
Yeah, exactly. And we have the other side of it, which was kind of brought up during the whole ghoul on his side quests in episode 3 where the NCR had codified laws protecting ghouls and other mutants, even super mutants, because there were a lot of mutants in the NCR, and there were several large cities and settlements that were majority ghoul population. So they did believe in equality. There was still a lot of anti-mutant sentiment, and
Yeah, on paper they were at least progressive and making an attempt. It's just that unfortunately not all of the people who lived there shared that sentiment or that mindset.
do we want to talk about the destruction of Shady Sands? I almost cried. This was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, this was not good at all. I mean, no one survived that, really.
Truly. And to me, it just highlight Hank McClane as
Piece
Jean.
of shit. Piece of shit. I hope he dies horribly.
He just is terrible. The fact that he can blow up a city of more than 40,000 people and then just go and immediately start reading his daughter a bedtime story like nothing is wrong. W- True
Yeah,
monster.
what do you mean? Like you just killed how many people are we estimating lived in Shady Sands?
I think it
Few
was more than
thousand?
40,000. Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot more than a few thousand. Yeah. So like that's I mean that's a lot of fucking people that he just kind of cut off. Got rid of.
Yeah. And it does seem like in this episode we get some hints that maybe the NCR really isn't as dunzo as we thought that they were. They talk a little bit about there being some battalions out west, but that was over 20 years ago, so it's very possible that they're disbanded or dead or whatever, but we don't know for
Yeah, and it
sure.
might just be the members that we saw with the ghoul.
Exactly. And we get a pretty iconic Fallout New Vegas line, which is patrolling the
The
Mojave.
Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Ah, even I
It
recognize that one.
It's become like the chief Fallout brain rot term, which is
Is it
why,
like arrow to the knee?
yes, it is exactly like the Skyrim arrow to the knee line, because all of the NCR soldiers just kind of repeat it over and over again. So it's the fact that they made a character who is literally being mind controlled and lobotomized with the device say that
Yeah,
over and
it's
over was,
hilarious.
yeah, it was pretty fantastic. I thought it was great.
Oh,
Uh,
that reminds me. I actually have a crazy story to tell you. I used to be an adventurer.
and then I took an arrow to the knee.
I took an arrow to the knee.
um,
So stupid.
That's better than Maximus taking a human tooth to the shoulder in season 1.
Wait, what? I
Do you
don't
know
remember that.
it was kind of an easy one to miss, but when Maximus and Lucy in season 1 were crossing that bridge and you had the like cannibals coming from the other side, what
Mm.
gets shot into his shoulder it was actually a human tooth, and that's why he had like kind of an infection that the vault dwellers had to heal for him.
Okay, I think I like do briefly remember that. I should have rewatched season one because it
Yeah,
has
I
been
mean,
2 years.
it was a very small detail. Poor Maximus, man. He's just been through it, and he was really going through it this episode. But we'll get to him. I want to talk about Shady Sands just a little bit more.
Yeah.
What did you think about Max's family?
They seem nice. I really do feel bad for the dude. His mother seemed like a nice, loving mother. His dad was obviously the same way, but like you got listed, he had to be some kind of an engineer or like a scientist because he was trying to defuse that shit, and he almost did.
Yeah, he came really close, but Hank McClane thinks of everything.
POS.
Truly, guy's terrible. And he also tapped into a clean water source under Shady Sands. What a drag, man. You literally the day that you finish creating a well that will get clean water to a whole city, the city blows up.
It's because war never changes.
I saw an interview with Ron Perlman talking about the Fallout games and how when he did the voiceover for the first Fallout game, he kind of forgot that he did it because they paid him literally $40 and a sandwich. And
Oh
so when
my
they asked him to do the
god.
second one, he was like, "I don't remember that, but I guess I'll do it."
Yeah. I always think stuff like that's kind of funny. Like someone who has like a line that's like very important and impactful in like future entries and stuff. Like obviously they didn't know it was going to be that important when like they did it for the first time for like a game or whatever. I always think that's cool.
It is really cool. Um, let's talk about Area 51. They
Yeah,
raised this from the
let's.
sands. They put a fusion core, which Fallout fusion cores are like the catch-all. Whatever you need them to do, they can kind of do it. They can power your power armor. They can
Your
power your
vertibird,
laser gun. Yeah,
your guns, yeah, anything if it uses power and they don't want to come up with like a different mechanic for it, it's powered by a fusion core, obviously.
yeah. And we learned that the Knights of San Fernando, who that's Max's chapter, by the way, are the Knights of
Yeah,
San Fernando. I don't think they've ever actually said it in the show that that's his chapter. They've
I
just kind
had
of
no idea. Yeah.
yeah, I had to look this one up when I was looking up all of the different Brotherhood chapters that were in this episode.
Mhm.
The Knights of San Fernando, Yosemite, Coronado, Grand Canyon, those are all new for the show. The only returning chapter that we have seen in previous things it was Paladin Harkness's chapter, the Commonwealth, and that's the East Coast chapter. So,
Right.
in Area 51, did you notice anything fun?
Yeah, there was a really nice ice box, and there was something interested in there, but I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
This whole thing really just highlighted how much the Brotherhood doesn't care about their mission of preserving pre-war technology anymore because number one, they just kind of shove an alien out of the fridge, which that's a Zayton alien. We did a whole lore episode on them, so if you would like to learn a little bit about them, there is I believe a 45-minute episode all about them. So go ahead
Yeah,
and
we
listen to
we were
that.
gonna make it quick.
Yeah, we were gonna make it quick. Oh, we famous last words always.
This gonna be a quick one.
Well, we have 2 episodes to cover, so I didn't even wanna, put that into being. We would have been here for 3 hours if I had said this was gonna be a quick episode.
Yep, we would, and you never know.
You
There's
never
still
know.
time.
And then the whole blowing up the car, like, these guys are just such assholes. I hate them. I can't stand the Brotherhood.
Stuff like that, I feel like they're just trying to be like they're trying to evoke hell yeah energy with like just blowing up a random car. Like there's no benefit to that. It's just like explosion. Like what was the idea?
Literally, it just between the fights that they have with one another, these stupid pit fights that are so wasteful. The Brotherhood already has such low membership because they are so isolationist, and they're going to be fighting each other to the death in their power armor. You're damaging the power armor. You're blowing up cars. You're
Killing each other in some situations.
you're playing with plasma grenades. Like, what are you doing?
The one that just kept turning it on and off.
Dude, you know when Maximus, in this short span of time, has grown up to be the only serious person in the Brotherhood, things are bad because he was such
Yeah,
an unserious character.
he was so goofy in season one.
He
What
was.
was it? Do you wanna have sex right now?
I, you know,
Intercourse.
I thought about that a lot in this episode when Harkness and Max were in the vertebrate together, and Harkness is like, "Can we just be hard dick for a second?" And Maximus looks at him in horror for a second because you just know that he doesn't know what that means, and he's like scared of the implications of it.
Yeah.
But it was
Hard
really funny.
dick. I like that them discovering Area 51 though did give us like some insight into like what the US was doing to prep for the end of the world.
Yeah,
Because like they had I think the Declaration was there.
the Declaration was there.
Like
They
the
had
Constitution, like shit like that.
Starry Night. They had a bunch of different artwork and statues. So it was cool. It was fun that they had the alien Area 51 nod though. If they
Yeah.
didn't have an alien in Area 51, I would have been disappointed.
Yeah, and I like that it was Zayton specifically. I love the Zayton aliens. They're so silly.
Yeah, they are. And let's talk about these chapters for a minute because, like I said, they're almost all new for the show. We already said that they're the Knights of San Fernando, um, which is interesting that they have that full title. We have not seen before a chapter that are specifically the Knights of, which I don't know if that has any broader implications, but Harkness comments that these guys have a lot of clerics skittering around, and then he does a little skittering sound.
Scuttle, scuttle, scuttle sound.
Yeah, exactly. And he's completely right that every chapter is just a little bit different from one another, and that's on full display. We get Yosemite, who this is the chapter who says they don't like the religious aspect of the Brotherhood of Steel, which is true
Yeah,
of a lot of the chapters that they don't really mess with the whole cult aspect of it.
I feel like most of the Brotherhood chapters that we see and interact with are definitely like on the militaristic side. Not really. They're not really praise. I don't even remember how the Brotherhood religion works. Honestly, like I don't remember it well enough.
It's not really consistent. It's just kind of vibes based.
Oh yeah, love
Yeah.
that.
It's just kind of like if we can justify our actions by saying God wants us to do it, then,
Then
you
God
know,
wants us to do it.
exactly. And like you said, we've seen the militaristic ones a lot. That would encompass the Commonwealth, the East Coast chapter. They're very much hell yeah, back in black,
Liberty
hoorah.
Prime.
Yeah, exactly. That's their vibe. And we see all of the chapters kind of in agreement that if they get into a civil war with the Commonwealth in their current state, Commonwealth is going to kick their asses, which is pretty true. The Commonwealth has a lot, but maybe not as strong as we think that they are because Harkness says that they're kind of up against a wall. What do you think about that?
I think. I'm trying to think. Where does this show take place, like timeline wise?
I believe it is like 10, 15 years after Fallout 4.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe, and I don't think they're gonna canonize any endings of any of the games. I think that was kind of their whole idea. But I think the outcome of 4 very well could be why the Brotherhood is up against the wall, or at least in part, like a part of why the Brotherhood is up against the wall. Like maybe it didn't, maybe something didn't work out so well for them, and or or they're just kind of getting overrun with different monsters and stuff at this point. You never know, I guess.
Yeah, because DC and Boston have a bit of a super mutant problem in the cities. They've got a
Yeah,
lot of those running around, and not the intelligent kind who just want to live peacefully.
no, those are definitely the brute type ones.
Exactly, the second generations and beyond. Which, if you are just a show watcher, you probably have no idea what a super mutant is. Basically, just think of the Hulk.
Oh, I was gonna think of evil Shrek.
That too, that works. I like that one a little bit better.
Yeah. So giant irradiated evil Shrek.
Yes.
And they're pretty stupid for the most part, I think.
They're stupid, they're aggressive. The first generation of super mutants that were made in the pre-war and like immediate post-war period, they're intelligent. They have human or above human intelligence. There's a whole history behind that. I think that we did an episode on the Master and the
Yeah.
story of Fallout 1. So
And
there's a
the
lot of info on
FEV.
them. Yeah. So go ahead and check that out. I feel like I'm plugging my merch this episode.
You are. It's okay. Guys, make sure to click the link in bio, like and subscribe or uh yeah, I got nothing. I'm trying to come up with like some clickbaity sounding thing.
Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
let's move on. Let's talk about the other chapters that we see. We have Coronado, they're the ones who are really sexist, and then we have the Grand Canyon Brotherhood, which is the chapter that apparently likes to have fun with robots. But apparently that squire was well within his rights.
I don't think that Squire was well within his rights. I mean, what was he trying to do to that robot?
He just was assuming the position, as Fisto would say.
Assume the position.
Not only that, but I think that the Grand Canyon Elder might have been his appearance could have been a little nod to the New Vegas companion Eddie, which is a little iBot robot that has been patched up with an old license plate, and I think that the license plate that the guy has on his forehead patching him up might be a little bit of an Eddie reference there.
Oh,
I I could be completely grasping at straws here to connect things, but
nah, I see it. I see the Vision Twin.
yeah, we get a little bit of a fight pit moment between Max and a knight from the Coronado chapter. Somehow Max wins this thing. That guy was big and scary looking.
Yeah, but Max locked in.
And you know what? Elder Quintus, he sucks, man. He's just so
Dude,
awful.
wrinkly old man. What did I call him? I think I texted you and called him the wrinkly old ballsack man.
That is a great description for him. He's awful. This guy, one minute he's calling Maximus his son and talking about how the two of them are going to reshape the Brotherhood together. They're going to craft a new wasteland worth living in. And then he's like, wow, you're so stupid. I hate you. You
Yeah, he really
suck.
sells him on the dream and then proceeds to completely like disregard anything about that.
He's just such a classic manipulative abuser in that way, where his affection is just so conditional. As long as you're doing exactly what he wants you to do, you're in his good graces. But the second you step out of line or don't read his mind to figure out what's going on, he's just going to throw you away. So this guy sucks. I hope that Maximus wakes up and kills him. But now it seems like Maximus is kind of stuck.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. It's unfortunate, but I suppose it happens to the best of us.
Well, hot dog, Richard. What did you think about Paladin Harkness?
I He was trying too hard to win Maximus over, I think. Like it was too I don't know how to explain it, I guess. It felt too scripted on his
Yeah,
end. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess that's supposed to be obvious, but I think that that's why it didn't work. And then there was obviously other reasons why it didn't work, but that's like the main. I think even if the whole thing at the end didn't happen, we still Maximus still wouldn't have taken his side, even though he probably should.
yeah. I think that season one Maximus would have definitely drank the Kool-Aid a little bit more because he was a lot more gullible in that season. Not to say that he's not gullible in this season, because that's definitely a big part of his character, and I think that he's starting to grow out of it. But
Yeah,
he is not as bad anymore. His time with Lucy, his time out in the wasteland really forced him to grow up a little bit. You
yeah.
know who kind of made me mad in these episodes for
Who?
like no good reason? Dane.
Dane was so I know Dane was in season one. Obviously, was
Yeah.
that the
That's like
squire with the razors in the boot?
yeah, like Maximus's best friend, and they I feel in the at the end of the last season, they're the one who heralded Maximus as Knight Maximus, the savior of the Brotherhood, and now
Yeah,
Maximus is like drinking the Brotherhood Kool-Aid and they're all pissed off about it. I don't know why that switch up happened, but it just kind of feels weird from the end of last season into this season to have that as a plot point.
because it hasn't been like an insane amount of time between the seasons, right? Like I think we were talking in our first episode or maybe our preview. I think we said what a few weeks, probably,
Yeah,
maybe
I think
a
so.
month.
Yeah, it hasn't been super long for sure.
That seems like a pretty crazy switch up in that amount of time. You know, if it's been a year, I could totally see that like complete kind of like role reversal happening.
When the two of them are talking about how Maximus is such a Codex follower now, and Dane and Max used to like joke around about the Codex when they were younger, I don't know. It just I'm not really sold on the whole shift that they have here. We just need to see if they wanted to do that, they should have shown us a little bit more of Dane and made us care about them as a character.
It's too like artificial, I feel like.
Yeah, but that was really my only major gripe with the Brotherhood plotline in this episode. I thought that, or in these two episodes, I thought that everything else was really well executed, and the Brotherhood was hateable in a way that was intentional and fantastic because you should hate the Brotherhood. They suck.
Yeah.
We do see Paladin Harkness and Max taking out a Securitron who has gone haywire, which was a pretty fun thing. Not the only Securitron that we see in the episode.
Where did we see another one?
Don't worry, we'll get to good old Victor when we talk about the ghoul.
Yeah.
Oh god. Harkness and Max, they stumble upon Thaddeus's sweatshop. I was pretty proud of Thaddeus for standing in the way and stepping up for those kids, even though he's exploiting them a little bit. He still put his life on the line to try and protect them. I think that he sees a mutually beneficial relationship in all of this. You know, the kids get the soda, he gets the money. I think he cares about them a little bit, even if he's making them do 22-hour shifts.
At least enough to save their lives and like put his life on the line, which is commendable. I mean, for someone who's exploiting children.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, he did comfort Lois. Or no, Lois was the girl who was mean to the other kid. I can't remember which kid was being bullied, but then he
Oh
proceeded to
yeah.
bully Perry, the like really ghoulified kid, and be like, "Ugh, yuck! Do you see Perry? He's a
Yeah,
real
he's
ghoul over there."
disgusting. Like what are we doing?
This is the same kid that he was like, "Just take off your gloves and really dig your palms into the bottle caps to get them off."
Well, I mean, yeah, the kid's a ghoul. He's not a smooth skin like us.
Exactly. They're a little bit too far gone. But any final thoughts on this scene? What'd you think about the whole super sledge takedown?
That's like one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's my top three like melee weapons. We got the super sledge, we got the power fist, and we got really any like medieval themed weapons for melee. Like give me a knight sword, a Templar sword, and I'm happy.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting melee weapons in New Vegas. There's like swords made out of car bumpers. There's um, handheld chainsaws. There's just a lot
The
of
Death Claw Gauntlet.
the Deathclaw Gauntlet, which made a return in Fallout 4. I want to say it might have been in Fallout 3 as well as like a craftable
I
item,
think,
but the
and
crafting
it's in
system in 3 kind of
76.
sucked.
Yeah, the crafting system, durability, dude, durability.
Yeah, I not a fan of the durability system in Fallout 3. They made it a lot more easy to manage in New Vegas, but in 3 it was a slog to keep your weapons.
In 3 it was bad, and I feel like it was pretty bad in 76.
They did make it a little bit ridiculous in 76. I just having to manage your weapon durability is such a drag on the gameplay. It's not fun.
And at least make it like more realistic, because like I get that a hammer, obviously a hammer, you know, because that's just like the easiest thing for me to pull right now. Hammering nails in, I get it. You're not gonna like inflict as much wear and tear versus like hammering someone's skull in, but I still feel like it would last you more than 20 hits or 100 hits of a hammer. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
just make it some more, or like I saw people talking about this on, I think it was Instagram the other day, like it was on a Fallout post, and they were saying like, what if they made it so that only on like heavy attacks you lose durability or whatever, but they make it more like incentivizing to use heavy attacks, something like that, where like you're not forced to destroy your weapon after. I don't know, I'm rambling, I gotta stop.
No, I agree. I think that that's it's just there's a better way to do it.
So we got Lucy and the Ghoul head for Vegas before getting sidetracked by a man and a woman that the Ghoul refers to as Tunics. They then get ambushed by a rad scorpion and its brood, and Lucy takes the woman who survives with her and saves her instead of the Ghoul. Lucy is then taken prisoner by Kaisar's Legion.
Yeah. So let's talk about the Legion a little bit. Tunics
Yeah.
was a new term for me. I don't think that I've ever heard them referred to as tunics before, but that is, of course, a reference to Caesar's Legion. I don't know if it's a specific term that the ghoul was using to talk about the legions like slaves, or if that's just their nickname in general to him. But the Legion, essentially, brutal slavers and conquerors, they're no better than raiders in most cases. And now they're in a civil war. And one of those major players in the Civil War is Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, Kevin McAllister.
Kevin McAllister, who, since being abandoned by his parents, has been now renamed Lacerda Leggett. So Leggett is his title, Lacerda is apparently his name, which Lacerda means lizard in Latin, which might give a little bit of a clue to his character. He might be a little slithery, a little sneaky.
A
Um,
little duplicitous.
what do you think this guy is after? I'm not convinced about the Legion angle.
I think he could hear me out. He could be one of Bud's buds or some shit like that, or some
Hmm.
or like he's a plant. He's got to be a plant. And actually, instead of Bud's buds, which I have something to say about that, but instead of Bud's buds, maybe he's like a Mr. Houseplant.
That's interesting. And speaking of Mr. House, let's talk very briefly about Victor, the Securitron that the ghoul runs across in Camp Gulf, which is the old NCR Ranger headquarters in the Mojave. That's why he goes looking for the NCR there to help him. Victor seems to say that House is gone, and the ghoul is like, yeah, I really doubt that. That guy had a contingency plan for everything. So let's say that Mr. House's physical body is dead. He's probably got a backup of his brain somewhere.
Yeah, or he's like uploaded to the computer system or something.
Exactly. And we know that this is possible because he has other robots, like other Securitrons, that have the personality and memories of his favorite, like, girlfriends
Oh,
uploaded.
and also Bud Askins did it. Like
Yes,
uploaded his. I mean, I know he was still brain on a Roomba, but he, it's somewhat the same concept, and I feel like Mr. House would have cracked it before them.
absolutely. Mr. House dedicated so much of his time and his resources to figuring out how to cheat death. So even if his like real body is dead and he's just living on as a bunch of data stored in a computer, that's
He's
better than
around.
nothing for him. Yeah,
Yeah.
which maybe he's shut down and like because it seems like he doesn't have much control over his Securitrons. There's one going haywire in the factory that Max and Paladin Harkness go to. So I think that he's out of commission for the moment, and Lucy and the Ghoul are going to do something to wake him back up.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Legion, this whole Civil War situation, this is exactly what Mr. House said was going to happen in Fallout New Vegas. He talks about the Legion and he's like, these guys are essentially a cult of personality centered around Caesar. As soon as he dies, yeah, they're probably going to rally and try and do a tribute to Caesar by taking the dam or pulling off some kind of great feat by killing the NCR, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But eventually, they're just going to devolve back into a bunch of warring factions that are just as much at each other's throats as they are at the NCR's throat.
Yeah, I think you're right because they have devolved. I mean, they really are doing some stupid shit.
Yeah, let's be clear. They were doing all this really stupid stuff before Caesar was dead. There was just kind of a larger amount of control over them. They were still
Yeah.
brutal raiders and horrible people. A lot of the traders from Arizona and New Mexico were like, well, at least the roads are safe. I doubt that's the case anymore.
I'm with you on that. I don't think the roads are ever safe in the wasteland though.
And also, women have no rights and are slaves in Caesar's Legion. So that's
That's
pretty terrible.
wonderful. No,
Yeah.
no, that's so great. What do you mean? paradise on Earth.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just they're a whole other level of vile and evil in this universe.
Yeah, which
And
is wild because like in terms of vile and evil like organizations, there's so many to choose from in Fallout that are just horrible. And yet they managed to bring a different like form of it in, and they do it just as horribly as like Vault Tech.
I honestly don't know who's worse, the Enclave, Caesar's Legion, or Vault-Tec. It's really such a toss-up.
See, I'd like to say Vault Tech because the Enclave, well, maybe not so much the Enclave, but Caesar's Legion is definitely like a product of circumstance.
Yeah.
Whereas the Enclave, they were kind of around like pre-war, right?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, so like the Enclave and Vault Tech, those are just evil organizations that were not forced into it. Not that Caesar's Legion was. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this, but like you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think I get what you're saying. It very much is like, the wasteland is brutal, so Caesar felt I need to be brutal to bring order to all of this. But Caesar did grow up in the NCR. Like he grew up with public radio and a school, and he
Oh,
like this is not someone who was mistreated as a child. He was sent on a humanitarian mission to learn tribal languages when he was 20, and he decided to turn those tribes into his brutal war band. Like this is just a guy who's kind of evil and crazy.
oh, okay, yeah, never mind then, honestly, because like yes, obviously NCR civilization wasn't like pre-war, but it was still pretty nice. I mean, like based on Shady Sands at least.
Yeah, it was nice. And Caesar kind of focused on the bad parts of it when he talks about what was wrong with the NCR. He brought up all of the corruption and the fact that the corporations and rich people were ruling things. Sound familiar? Um,
In Fallout, no.
in Fallout, things repeating themselves, war never changing. That could
War
never be the case.
changes all the time, dude. What are we talking about?
Yeah. So there's just a whole slew of reasons why Caesar is kind of a hypocrite and is just justifying his own terrible actions. But he's dead now. And even if they knew what his successor was named as in his pocket there, in his magical little
In the
pocket,
holy pocket.
the holy pocket, I don't think it would have changed anything. They still would have started killing each other.
I mean, yeah, it's I think that would have been a perfect way of continuing the story if the ghoul hadn't done that. Like I think what the ghoul did was great because like great plan, just cause utter chaos. But if they had opened up the pocket and like found the note and whatever, it would just turn into, well, you guys planted it. No, you guys planted it, or whatever, and then more war.
Yeah, I don't even think his successor is named in on that note, to be honest, because the part that we can read says I am, and then the second line is I am the, and the rest of it is like cut off because it's folded in half. But I
Yeah.
think that it probably said something to the effect of I am Caesar, I am the only Caesar.
Or like I
um,
am the Legion type shit. Like that guy was not giving up power even as he died.
no, he was not. And fun little Easter egg, he has the same medical device on his skeleton's arm that he had on during Fallout New Vegas. That's his little monitor to track his progression of his brain cancer. Would be sad if it was any other character.
I don't know about any other character. Hold on, let me cherry pick like the worst possible example. Um, Hank McLean.
Yeah, speaking of Hank McLean, I don't have a section specifically dedicated to his plotline in these episodes because he was only in a little bit of episode 2. What did you think about
Yeah,
his whole experimentation trying to
dude,
further Mr. House's stuff?
I hate him, but I want to see more. Like, I really do like the Hank sections, even though I despise him as a character. He's got that drip. He's got a gold Pip-Boy on.
He does. And that's a little reference to Fallout New Vegas's Pimp Boy 3000, which is a
Oh,
unique Pip-Boy that you can get from Mick and Ralph's shop in New Vegas, in the
I did not
outer
know
section of
that.
Freeside. Yeah, you literally can get a gold-plated Pip-Boy called the Pimp Boy 3000.
I mean that's cool. I'll have to play New Vegas one day and get the Pimp-Boy 3000.
It's pretty great. I've only done it in one of my playthroughs. I kind of forget about it because it's an unmarked quest that you have to do a lot of random stuff to make it happen. It's more of an Easter egg than anything real.
Uh, Still gonna get it because I'm goaded.
Yeah, you should. Any thoughts on the Legion before we get into the Ghoul?
Not any like full blown thoughts, just like I like the vibe. I just like the vibe of like Roman shit. I don't like the other parts, you know.
Yes. And
The aesthetic. That's the word.
just to be a little bit of a devil's advocate right here. I don't
Oh
know if
boy.
maybe that's not the right term, but both Lucy and the Legion are technically correct about the Caesar pronunciation, Caesar versus Caesar. Caesar would have been the ancient Latin pronunciation. So at the time that the real Julius Caesar lived, it would have been Julius Caesar, and that kind of evolved. The modern Latin version would be Caesar. So Lucy, with her knowledge of like modern Latin, is correct, but them going off of like the Roman theme is also kind of correct. So in a way, they're both wrong and they're both right.
Yeah.
Lucy is more correct because we don't really speak Latin like that anymore. I mean, nobody speaks Latin unless you are a member of the clergy, but
I speak Latin every day. What do you mean?
yeah, my 2 years of Latin classes really are paying off here, aren't they? I feel like I use it every single day.
You might use it more than I use my 3 years of Spanish.
I probably use my 2 years of Latin more than I use my 7 years of Spanish.
You took 7 years of Spanish?
I took 7 years of Spanish. I did 2 years in, oh, wait, actually, maybe 8 years. 2 years in middle school, 4 years in high school, and 2 years in college.
Oh shit! Look at you.
And I can barely speak a word of Spanish. The American
Where's it-
education system really failed me.
where where's that library at?
La biblioteca.
Donde está la biblioteca?
Me llamo T-Bone La Araña Discoteca. You don't know that reference, do
I
you?
caught me llamo because
You don't
like
know that
that's
one,
my
do you?
name is. No, I don't.
Well, the folks at home will get it. You'll be here. AI Richard, as always, doesn't know what's going on.
I think AI Richard knows more Spanish than Flesh and Blood Richard.
I don't know. I haven't really programmed the AI very well.
Right.
Right.
AI Aaron is coming along pretty well. He knows more Spanish than you.
I feel AI Aaron is missing more ones and zeros than Victor.
Wow, dude.
AI Aaron is not on par. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the ghoul tracking down Lucy. He meets Victor in Camp Golf. We already talked about this a little bit. Victor is doing pretty much what Victor always does in New Vegas, where he plays dumb, but prods you in the right direction by sort of accidentally giving you information, but it's not really accidental. He's very much manipulating you to do a certain thing by leaving you breadcrumbs and acting clueless.
Nah, he's just nonchalant.
He's very nonchalant. He is kind of playing the idiot, and meanwhile you're doing exactly what he wants without realizing it.
Yeah.
Although I think that the ghoul probably knows Victor's MO and knows that that's happening because he's like, "Well, I'll see you down the line, Victor." Like he knows that Victor is not done with him yet.
Yeah, I also feel like after 200 years of being like alive, the ghoul's probably well, more than 200 years actually, but we'll say 250.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Yeah, after being alive for like 250 years, if you can't read people and I guess robots well, I feel like you got to be doing something wrong, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, not only has he had all this time to develop his ability to read people through his like skills as an actor and everything that he's done post-war, but he's known Victor since the post-war period. Like he's going to meet Victor at some point during the pre-war timeline when he goes to Vegas. Maybe even
Yeah.
next episode because I know that we're getting Cooper in Mr. House's casino in the next episode because that
Oh,
was
we
in the
do know
teaser.
that?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really look at like the teasers. I just kind of, I just kind of wait for the next week.
Yeah, I think next week we're getting pre-war Vegas, post-war Vegas, and just flip ahead like 10, 15 seconds if you don't want to hear the major story spoiler. But we're also getting Thaddeus impersonating Paladin Harkness in the power armor and like trying to smooth things over.
Yeah, as you do.
So then, after Coop gets the information from Victor, he encounters the dusty looking NCR squad, and instead of helping him, they want his help because rumor has it he used to fight for the kind of ideals that they hold dear: schools, medicine, all of this stuff.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely didn't catch that.
And another thing that I caught, which I don't know if this is intentional, if this is just a production mistake, when the ghoul is taking the medicine out of the case, he drops one on the ground, and I feel like that might be his way of nonchalantly leaving behind some medicine for someone else who might need it to kind of be
Yeah.
like, "Ah, I don't really care."
Yeah, you could be right.
Or it could just be that Walton Goggins dropped one of the things and they didn't feel like refilming it.
It could be, it does happen like that sometimes.
But everything in this production feels really intentional, so,
I'm hoping you're right. Yeah.
what did you think about our little ranger friend with the pet squirrel?
Dude, I just don't remember the NCR at all. What the hell?
You don't
Because I don't
remember that at
remember
all?
that. I guess I don't remember that part of the episode. To be fair, I watched it before watching the I'm gonna be very nice about this dumpster fire of a Stranger Things finale.
Man, yeah. I, I we could spend 5 hours talking
I
about the
know.
Stranger Things finale.
I know.
There were some parts I liked, but the majority of it was
I
just
think listen. I think after building up this big villain, this big battle, and being like, guys, there's gonna be 6 character deaths and a major betrayal. For there to be 3 major character deaths, one of them's ambiguous. Like, what are we doing?
yeah.
And also like the big final battle being like fucking 6 minutes long after 10 years just feels like a cop out. I'm sorry.
I think they got sick of making the show.
I think I got sick of watching the show.
There were a few parts that really got to me, but we we can maybe talk about Stranger Things. We still need to do a little like what are
Ramblers
we doing?
Rodeo.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
I thought that's what I didn't you say that? I think you came up with that when we were like talking about it.
Um
Or Chase.
yeah, maybe I did. It's been so long since we talked about that. I like I was like, "Ooh, I like that," and it might have been my idea. Yeah, no wonder I like
Yeah,
it.
keep glazing.
Yeah. And then we get at the very end, we have Cooper. I should be calling him the Ghoul because he's not really Cooper anymore. We have the Ghoul tricking the Legion into releasing Lucy and giving them a false location, or maybe he gave them the correct location. We don't know that he gave them a false NCR location, but I think that he did. And then he sets off an explosive, and that ends up causing some fighting between the two opposing Civil War sides. So the explosion, no one knows who did it, and so everything just erupts into chaos.
I thought he blew up and maybe he did. Did he blow up the Holy Pocket?
He might have. I thought that was a little. When he was walking into the Legion camp, he glanced over and saw a bunch of barrels full of dynamite. So I think that's what he blew up. But it could
Oh
have been
yeah.
the holy pocket of Caesar himself, Edward Sallow.
Well, I guess we'll find out probably next week.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder when we're going to see the Legion next. We're definitely getting more Macaulay Culkin. I don't think we're done with him. We have at least a few more scenes. So,
Yeah, and before we go into our next section, I just want to clarify or ask you something and then maybe talk about it.
yeah.
In episode 2, is that when Norm and the Buds left the vault? Or was that episode 1 and I'm stupid?
No, that was episode 2. So yeah, we can talk
Okay.
about that a little bit. You're absolutely right. They did.
Yeah.
It was kind of a small part of the overall story, but yeah, we did have Norm kind of commanding the Buds folks, which was really entertaining. They were all
Yeah.
freaking out and like throwing up in the vault, and he's like, "Everyone, shut up."
I'm a I'm a genetically engineered super manager.
He has the right traits from Hank and the right ones from his mother. I think that he's got a good personality and the
Yeah.
ability to manipulate people.
I like Norm. I'm excited for that like continuation and I just want to see more of the vault in general because like I love the vault characters. They're so dumb. Like like Davy.
Davy. We all
Every
know
time
Davy.
I like yeah, do we? Who's the Davy in your life?
I can think of so many people that I've worked with before or just like known that I won't name names, but I've known a lot of Davies who are like, well, what am I supposed to do? Now that everything's on the opposite side, I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it anymore.
dude, poor Chet. At least he's got his totally his son. Chet
Chet Jr., and it's not even his kid. Not even his kid. Born before he even got into that relationship.
uh was Chet Jr. born? I thought Chet Jr. was born after they started.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Stephanie was pregnant when they got together, and then
Yeah.
what was his name? Bert. We never even met Bert.
Bert. I don't remember
That's the
Bert.
kid's father.
I think we met Bert. Didn't Bert die in the first episode when like everything I gotta rewatch season 1, man.
Yeah, we saw a portrait of Bert.
Okay.
Just like full on, we saw a room-size painting of Bert on the wall when Stephanie and Chet first got together. So
Oh.
yeah, it was a little creepy. That was after Stephanie put Bert's old sweater on Chet and started calling Chet Bert.
Oh my god, I remember that. Oh, I really wish I didn't remember that because that was so weird.
Yeah, that was that was also when she tried to give him Bert's shoes, and he was like, "I don't think I can wear these. These are like a size 9, and I'm a size 13." And she's like, "Wear the damn shoes."
Yeah, like be a freak in your own right, but that's a little too freaky.
Yeah, I don't think Chet was super happy with that. I don't think Chet is happy with anything going on in his life right now.
I think you're right. I mean, his bestie Norm is gone. His cousin Ella is also gone.
Yeah.
Or not Ella. Jesus. Ella Purnell. Lucy.
Let's take a quick break, and then we will get into the pre-war section, and then our thoughts, how we feel, feedback, and we'll wrap it up. And we're back to talk about the pre-war sections of these episodes. In brief, Cooper rendezvous with his old pal Charlie Whiteknife at a VA event that Charlie is being honored at for his heroics during Operation Anchorage. Charlie compares Coop's potential assassination of Robert House to their time in the Marine Corps. Coop unknowingly is confronted by his target as House begins to antagonize him in the bathroom.
On God, we've all antagonized someone in the bathroom, right? This is relatable.
Yeah, you don't just like hang around in public bathrooms and then, someone walks in and you're like, "Are you a pinko?"
I just like rage baiting strangers. I mean, and what's better than doing it in a bathroom?
Exactly. What's better than attacking someone when they feel most vulnerable?
Okay, maybe not that far. You know, I was thinking of it in like just a silly rage bait way.
No, yeah, I mean that's what Mr. House is doing. He just kind of comes out of the shadows in there, which I'm gonna keep calling him Mr. House until we get some sort of thing to the contrary. There's a lot of people out there who are adamant that this is House's brother or that it's someone else. I I really do believe that it's Mr. House, and maybe I'll lose some internet points on this one, and I'll lose my bet, but I do.
I'm gonna go with a slightly different theory, and that it's a clone that he transferred his consciousness into.
Clones do exist in the Fallout universe, so this is
They
possible.
do. And he's obsessed with living forever. And you know what's close to living forever? Cloning a younger version of yourself and popping into that body.
That's a good I had not thought about that before, but
It
that's
happened in Sun Eater. One of my favorite villains is like that, and I'm not gonna keep yapping because that's a lot to yap about. But that's my theory.
I like that theory a lot. Ooh, really had not thought about it like that, but now I might be on team cloning and hope I know for a fact that
Stealing
if
all my internet points. Yep.
exactly. No, I'm still gonna stick to that being the real Mr. House and the guy who's on TV being a body double for him because House is based off of Howard Hughes, I believe, the like reclusive millionaire who had an affinity for
Oh,
Vegas, and so
okay.
he's like that's kind of his vibe with the body doubles and everything.
Yeah,
But
I get what you mean.
we don't have any real evidence of that yet, but we'll only time can tell. Only time can tell with that. We have Barb in the pre-war period crying as she is packing Janie's things for the vault.
And Cooper Howard, serving as always, is like, oh well, we. It's not like we're gonna need it, because why would we need? Why would the world end? That would be horrible.
Yeah, and I love how he's just becoming increasingly disgusted by the whole situation. When he talks to her and he's like, "Well, maybe we won't have to," and she doesn't really answer him. He goes around the corner and looks back like, "What has my life become? What is going on?"
Yeah, I think him becoming more openly antagonistic towards her too. Like, I shouldn't say openly, passive aggressive towards her. That's the what I'm looking for. I think they're going to have a confrontation at the end of this season, and I think given the way they've been doing like side by side parallels the whole way, I think he's going to confront her possibly in the finale or maybe like end of episode 7 in the pre-war timeline, and then that's when he's going to find her in the post-apocalypse timeline.
That would be great. They do really love to interweave the scenes of pre-war Cooper with post-war Ghoul.
Yeah, it's very well done because like how do you show a character having parallels like that within their own lifespan versus like characters having parallels with other characters? It's very like it's a great way to do it since it's more like contained within his character.
I also really love shout out to Ramin Djawadi, who is the composer for the Fallout soundtrack. He did all of the Game of Thrones stuff. Fantastic guy. Um, that makes it sound like I know him personally. Great. I love
Great
his work.
guy all around, you
Yeah.
know. He's a homeboy.
Exactly. But the song that plays in the background during Cooper listening to the Charlie Whiteknife's speech about him in Alaska was they've played it a few times before, but it just gets me every single time. The sort of soft string instruments in the background, everything is so dramatic, and I love it. It's great,
No, the soundtrack has always been a high point for Fallout for sure.
definitely. Then we get a congresswoman from the District of Boring delivering Charlie his award, which is yippee, a commemorative lighter. I kind of felt bad for her.
I did too, because she's like the wasn't her thing that she's the last congressperson in the US that isn't bought out by a corporation or like
Yes.
backed by a corporation. Like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
I know. And I don't know why, but it really made me so sad when she dropped the cards and like no one really helped her and she was just up there kind of floundering. I don't know why that really just got to me. Like I felt
I
so sad.
I don't know. I think it's like her being like representative of being like the last holdout in late stage capitalism really just, I don't know. It's
And
thought provoking.
and she's so defeated. You can just hear in her voice that she doesn't have any fight left in her, which is played for
Yeah.
laughs mostly, but it is sad.
Yeah, there's like a real component to that.
And then we have Charlie giving Coop that lighter, which was meant to push him towards killing House. I don't know how I missed this. I had to go back and like rewatch the scene with Cooper and Moldaver from episode one. I don't know why I didn't realize that she was asking Cooper to kill House.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't she ask Cooper to kill House? It's
No,
like,
I just didn't really like I didn't realize that. I don't know why I misheard it and thought that she was asking him to spy on Mr. House.
oh yeah. I mean, spying, killing, it's all in the same boat.
It's funny because she does explicitly say, "I'm not asking you to spy on him." And
Oh,
the implication is like, "Go and kill him, please." And I just completely I missed that somehow. But, you know, I caught on by this episode.
yeah. You know, a late start is still a start.
And it was a really powerful moment between Charlie and Coop when he has that line of, "They gave this lighter to me for saving a man, not for killing the three that it took to do it." So he's really just trying to convince him, if you want to be a hero, you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, and people are going to remember everything that you did that was for good. They're not going to remember all of the destruction and the horror that you caused to do it. And he also has that extra push of like, we were fighting against China, we were doing all of this stuff, all of these wars over resources. We were, what did we really accomplish? Were we doing something righteous? And
Yeah.
yeah,
And it, definitely is something to think about because like the world ended and pretty much as soon as the bombs dropped, their accomplishments were for nothing
yeah.
essentially because what was the point of fighting in the war just for the world to end, a couple years later anyways.
And it also seems like in episode 4 we're gonna get an Operation Anchorage flashback of Cooper.
Oh boy. I just can't wait to see more power armor because they've done power armor so well
Yeah.
in the show. I mean, I think we talked about it, you guys talked about it last season, but like they just kind of had fun with it.
I love that it's practical. It really makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the way that a lot of character like the way that Maximus reacted to having power armor in the first season, like when he first got it, I think I was texting you or maybe Chase about it when I watched it. Like that encapsulates the feel of getting power armor for the first time. Like you just want to have fun with it, you want to try it out, and you do a lot of stupid shit with it, I feel like. Like what if I could, how much damage can I do using this melee weapon in the power armor against whatever random enemy, and then you just fuck around with it a lot.
I think that's my favorite change that Bethesda has made from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4 was the way that the power armor works as kind of a vehicle and this exosuit instead of just another piece of clothing that you can put on that acts the same way that all the other armors do.
Yeah, I like the way it feels like to get into power armor in 4 and in 76 honestly did so much for power armor. The way that it's more of like a piece of your arsenal instead of just like you said another piece of clothing.
Yeah.
Like it's like got its own function to it.
Definitely. Yeah, they have like all of the different situational power armors. Like there are some that give you more carry weight, there are some that give you more damage for whatever
There's the
situation.
mining set, like there's almost like classes for power armor.
Yeah, which is works great for an online game like that.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on all of this pre-war stuff? Any thoughts on House or Barb or Charlie White Knife, as Mr. House would say?
No, but I'm excited for this week to see like the continuation of everything.
Nice. All right, let's get into our thoughts. Richard, do you want to start us off with sort of your general closing thoughts?
The Brotherhood of Steel Civil War is great and like it's cool and all. I really do hope though that like if Fallout 5 is set 10 years after this show takes place, right? I want Fallout 5, like, I would like for this to have lasting effects to future games because a Brotherhood Civil War is a huge deal. You know what I mean? Like, I think
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Yeah, totally. And I think it should. Like whatever the show does, but that makes me wonder like are they going to wait until this show is over before they even start working on that?
It doesn't even matter if Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take another two decades, 3 decades. we're, we're not seeing Fallout 5, but I hope future generations will.
Yeah, not in our lifetime.
I'm starting to see what Robert House was on about, honestly, because I might have to do that just so I can play Fallout 5.
Yeah, you could be a shriveled up corpse connected to a computer.
Who's to say I'm not already a shriveled up old corpse connected to a computer?
That's secretly what AI Richard is.
Wow. Okay, so it's like the God Emperor from Warhammer almost.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, I agree with you with all of that. Any other thoughts?
I do have more thoughts, but given that I was just talking about the Brotherhood, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
F Elder Quintus, F Paladin Harkness, F the Brotherhood of Steel. Cool power armor and vertibirds do not make up for being terrible. That's
Damn
my TED Talk.
straight.
Thank you for joining me.
Your Aaron talk, if you will.
Yeah, my hot dog talk.
Dude, Ted's hot dogs. Fuck. Don't say that. Now I'm gonna have to go get Ted's.
That's a real regional pull. Go get yourself a Ted Salen's hot dog and a Loganberry.
I'm excited to see more of Hank's like whatever he's got going on. I would love to see a Hank backstory, I guess. Cause there's gotta be a reason why he's such like a corporate glazer, right?
Yeah, I mean, from what we've seen, the fact that he was talking to someone at the end of episode 1 and continuing Mr. House's experiments in episode 2, he's probably working for Mr. House. Like, I can't
Yeah.
imagine anything else.
I'm hoping we see him in the pre-war flashbacks of Vegas. Like that'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. Because we saw him briefly at the end of last season in the
Yeah, and he
pre-war
wanted
period.
that art of not art. Oh my god, autograph. I don't know why I was trying to say artifact.
It's just, it's the whole artifact on the brain of it all because they keep referring to the artifact in these episodes, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I would like to see more of Hank, and then obviously I'd love to see more of Mr. House because Mr. House, Mr. Robert, if you will, is just always cool. What about you, Doug?
Well, my final little thought on these episodes as a whole, I don't think the ghoul needs Lucy the way he sort of justifies it that way. I think that's how he is trying to justify it to himself and to dog meat, which I think is really
Yeah.
funny that he's using dog meat as like a way of talking through his conscience. Um,
Yeah.
it's pretty great. I think he just likes her. I think he likes being around her. I think he likes the person that he's turning back into because of her influence. And 200 years of horror can really corrupt a person, but Cooper Howard is still existing somewhere inside the ghoul, and we're just going to see more and more of him peek out because of Lucy.
Yeah, though their interactions are they definitely humanize the ghoul a lot more, which is great because like in season 1 I feel like I had trouble seeing him as Cooper Howard and then seeing him as the ghoul, you know? I know that they're the same character, but it's hard to like bridge that gap. But with him acting like he, he's he's acting more and more like his old self, and that is helping to kind of bridge that gap is like you could see bits and pieces of Cooper in the ghoul, which you should. It's easier to see the two being the same character.
Yeah, and I think especially with the NCR Rangers in the hills talking about how he used to fight for higher ideals, I don't think they're talking about pre-war Cooper. I don't think they really know about pre-war Cooper or what he was like. I think that at some point he's probably been through some similar period of being a good guy. Maybe it was right after the bombs dropped. Maybe he's been a good guy for a while and he just kind of slipped into his whole villainous mercenary persona after some catastrophic event. But I I do believe that he's in there and he's poked his head out before from his whole
Yeah.
persona that he uses to protect himself.
Yeah, I think ultimately he still wants to do good. And I think that the like you said, it is a persona. Like it's like how you were saying earlier, like you totally believe that he could have left, like dropped that medicine on purpose. And I think that that is sort of him trying to do good while maintaining the persona of like being, he's the tough guy.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially just his whole post-war the Ghoul persona is just the cowboy from his one movie, right? Like that's
Yeah. I think he's just doing what he used to do best, and that is acting.
yeah, I agree. All right. Well, we should get on to how we feel. Richard, you want to give us your professional review of the episode?
Yes, my very professional review. This is definitely a lot shorter than yours because I agree with a lot of Aaron's points that he's going to make immediately after this. So, I didn't include those in my review, but I liked 3 more than 2. Um, I liked it, but I don't think it was a better episode critically, if that makes sense. But it gave us a lot more insight into like the New Vegas power dynamic in the present day, and the ghoul interfering with the Legion was great. Like I'm excited to see the outcome of that. I think we're gonna see Lacerda a lot more and more as the season goes on, and I'm hoping for more Hank. And then also the stuff Aaron's gonna cover. But I would give episode 2 an 8 out of 5, or an 8.5 out of 10, and episode 3 an 8 out of 10, which is what I mean. Like when I say critically, I liked 2 more than 3, but I liked 3 more than 2 as just like a casual viewer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wonderful.
I think that episodes 2 and 3 were pretty fantastic as introductions to the greater world of Fallout factions and organizations. There was a lot of iconic locations, old characters, new moral dilemmas. These episodes were more than anything felt like they were setting the stage for the central conflict that's going to dominate this season and maybe even extend further into the series. Like, I would be shocked if the Brotherhood Civil War was over by the end of this season. And the whole like Cooper slash the Ghoul thing remains the most interesting character work that the show is doing. And with how this story is going, I do feel like seeing his downfall from pre-war Cooper into the Ghoul and then his redemption back into something better because of his relationship with Lucy and wandering through the wasteland and being coerced into doing good. It could be the most compelling story in the franchise. It's already shaping up to be that way, but I think if they wrap it up well, it truly is going to be some of the most compelling character work that they've ever done. And while I thought episode 3 was the weakest of the bunch, it was still really entertaining and it sucked me into the world so much, especially with everything they did with the Legion and bringing back so many iconic locations. So, overall, I think that I'm going to give episode 2 an 8 out of 10, episode 3 a 7 out of 10. I thought they were both fantastic, but I just had to put 3 just a little bit lower because I felt like it was still in the setup phase, and by episode 3, I kind of wanna move past the setup, and I wanna really get into the meat of the story.
Yeah.
That's kinda my only big criticism of what's happening here.
Yeah. That's fair.
Alright, before we wrap things up, I scooped up a little bit of feedback from the Discord. I just took a couple of comments off of the episodes 2 and 3, so we'll go by these kinda piece by piece and talk about them as we go. Let's start off with Professor, spelled with a 9 at the beginning from the Discord. I am interested in seeing how Lucy and Maximus may help each other realign their sense of self, priorities, and morality. Maximus was raised by a good family that instilled deep rooted values in him, but he has lost his moral compass at an early age and was then indoctrinated. The fact that he has questions and struggles with his current circumstance is a tribute to what was embedded in him at an early age. Lucy lost her mother at an early age and was raised by an evil man disguised as a leader slash father and also indoctrinated, parentheses, by the Vault instead of the Brotherhood. As Lucy fights to maintain an honorable stance and Maximus fights to regain true honor, I wonder if they will serve as balancing points to one another as they make decisions in the wasteland. Well said. There's a lot of parallels between Max and Lucy.
Yeah, I think that is going to keep develop, or I'm hoping that's going to keep developing as the season goes on, and we're going to see them reunite at some point.
And we didn't even talk about Max's father, what he says to Max as he's getting into the fridge, as long as you leave the world a little bit better than you found it, it'll all be all right. And
Yeah,
I think even though Maximus has been indoctrinated by the Brotherhood, he's going to remember that. That's going to be such a core memory for him and so important. And I think that he believes at this moment that the Brotherhood is the best way of leaving the world a little bit better than he found it. But he's
yeah,
going to eventually break away from that, or he'll want to change the Brotherhood from the inside.
yeah. He's starting to see like the cracks, and I do like that motif of trying to change a corrupt system from the inside. I feel like it usually doesn't end up working out as well as it should, but I don't know. Depends on the story, I guess. Like Code Geass has a really good representation of that.
Yeah. So thank you for your feedback, Professor. If it's pronounced like Nine Professor or just Professor, let us know. We would love to hear from you. And then our next piece of feedback is from Jean, who is one of the Lorehounds co-hosts, and I had the honor of being on Peacemaker with Alicia and Jean, so that was a lot of fun. Jean says, I've got to say, out of all the possible futures slash universes that we see on screen, this one is probably top 3 for where I don't ever want to be.
I feel like there's way worse futures than Fallout. I mean, we got Warhammer, we've got wait, no, on screen, never mind. On screen this is pretty bad. I'm
Well,
thinking
pretty
of
soon
worse
Warhammer
things.
is going to be on screen too, so
Is it?
yeah, isn't Henry Cavill starring in a Warhammer?
Oh wait, yeah, I think he is. I well for now, at least. Warhammer we can't count, but
I think that Jean said this after episode 3, which was the Legion episode, which, yeah, that the whole Legion of it all really does make you not want to live in this post-apocalypse. But as
the
long as you
legion
stay
of it
the
all.
Legion of it all, as long as you stay clear of Arizona and New Mexico, you're all set.
I mean, yeah, I thought that was just like kind of how we were living life IRL anyways, right?
I've never been to New Mexico or Arizona. I do really want to go to Santa Fe though.
Stop lying.
I do. It seems like a fun place to visit. Shout out to Santa Fe.
I suppose. You know, to each their own.
To each their own. But post-apocalyptic? Nah, no, no, no. Stay far away. And then finally, we have a little bit of feedback from Yes Sadai. That's a hilarious username. I love it. The Brotherhood's end goal is very unclear to me for sure. Just taking over everything? Then what? Without reproduction, what are you going to do? Who are you doing this for? And I split the feedback, this piece of feedback into two because I wanted to address this one first. You're right. What are they going to do? The Brotherhood doesn't want to set up a government. They're just kind of militaristic control freaks.
Yeah, they want to be in control without having a structure for being in control.
Yeah. So the question of like, who are they doing this for? It's such a valid question because really, they're not doing this for any decent future. They can say as much as they want that they're hoarding technology so that people don't hurt themselves with it. But at the end of the day, they're not stopping anything. Sure, you can go and take a laser weapon away from a wastelander, but they're still gonna kill their neighbor with a knife instead of the laser gun. Like, I really it's not they're not doing anything. They're still the wasteland is terrible. If you're not working to bring clean water, you're not working to educate people, you're not working to create farms and infrastructure. You're
Yeah, they're
just
not like making people's lives better.
yeah, they're just doing everything for themselves so that they can have this stockpile of random bullshit. It sucks. They suck.
Essentially infinite fusion cores, and they want to go to war with it.
Yeah.
Why not just solve, like, there's problems in the wasteland, and not even the wasteland as a whole. There's problems in the brotherhood that could be solved with infinite energy aside from like having a civil war. What are we doing?
It's just so telling that Quintus gets his hands on this shit, and the first thing he wants to do is, how can I be in charge? Like, I don't know, man. It's just so irritating. They irritate me. The East Coast is not any better for the folks who were irritated that the Commonwealth was portrayed the way that they were. They're just as bad. I'm sorry to break the news. I have no wiggle room on this. The whole Brotherhood just sucks.
Yeah.
And then Yesedai follows it up by saying, these questions don't bother me much because I'm finding them all very enjoyable. Even the fighting and boxing in armor seems very stupid military grunt nonsense and appropriate. Plus, of course, to show how Maximus sees this as wrong and helps with his sense of both superiority but also unease with the Brotherhood. Well put.
I feel like we should just hire you guys to start writing the outlines for us with
That
some of
would be
these.
great. Yeah. Everyone pitch in. Everyone with these comments, we really don't need any original thoughts of our own. This is great, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we were gonna start outsourcing everything to AI, but
What do
I
you
guess this
mean?
works better.
You don't already ask AI what you think about everything?
I have started doing that. I actually just keep at, like, when I finished Sun Eater, I was like, hey, Chat GPT, what do I think of Sun Eater
Yeah,
now that
tell
it's
me how to
done?
think.
Can't you just do it for me?
it, you know, it's sad, but there are people who are doing that out there,
I
and
know.
not. I don't want to hate on all AI usage because I think that there's some like valid uses of it, but please continue having
Like,
original thoughts. I love you all, and you all have
yeah,
wonderful minds.
have you use your brain. It's there for a reason, and like, I don't know. I can't. I'm not going on an AI rant. I'm not going on an AI rant. But I don't like AI. Don't use AI for stuff that you can use your own brain for the most part.
I don't know. The morality of it is still
The morality of it all,
the morality of it all is still being discovered, I think.
the brotherhood of it all,
The brotherhood of it all. Oh, that should be our tagline for this season, the brotherhood of it all.
the Rusty Susan of it all.
We need to bring back Rusty Susan into our lexicon.
So true.
Yeah. But yes, Sadai, thank you. Thank you to everyone who dropped comments in the Discord. You guys are awesome. You all have great comments and thoughts and ideas, and there was a lot of lively discussion about the Rad Scorpion attack last week, so that was a lot of fun too. So, if you want to be involved in the conversation, there are weekly threads. There's a general chat if you just want to make a spoiler-free comment about either the show or the games or whatever else you might want to chat about. The Discord has so many different avenues for you to talk about, not just Fallout, but other stuff. So, great space. Everyone there is super respectful and just wants to have a fun time in the community. So thank you all for being so nice and awesome and making everyone in the community feel at home.
Yeah.
But without further ado, we have gone on for an hour and a half now, so I think that we should start wrapping it up. Richard, you want to take us away?
Yeah, as always, thank you for listening. We definitely appreciate your guys' support and continued support. And if you guys have any, like, obviously feedback, please go ahead and submit that to us. You know, we went over how to earlier in the episode. Honestly, like, a quick at in the Radioactive Ramblings channel, I think any of the three of us would respond to that pretty quickly as long as we're able to. So, like, don't hesitate. But that said, yeah, like Aaron said, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you to you profligates for joining us.
And before we let you guys go, I did want to just give a quick shout out to all the other podcasts in the network. First and foremost, the ones who make all of this possible, our parent podcast, the Lorehounds. They just are finishing up their coverage of Pluribus, which, man, you got to watch Pluribus. Everyone here, everyone listening, please tune into Pluribus because that's a sci-fi show that you don't want to miss. Vince Gilligan, speaking of New Mexico, which we were just talking about, takes place in Albuquerque, just like every other Vince Gilligan show.
Loves Albuquerque. Oh my god.
I know the man loves Albuquerque, but also in the network are amazing and excellent podcasts like Woolshift Dust, the Star Wars Canon Timeline podcast, Rings and Rituals, Properly Howard Movie Review, the Severance podcast, and Never Mind the Music. Links to all of these excellent podcasts and info on how to get a hold of us, those are all going to be in the show notes. So thank you all for listening, and we'll be back next week. Don't forget your super sledge.
Yeah! Who won the lottery? I did! Smell that air! Couldn't you just drink it like booze?